Hello friends, welcome again. Current affairs is very important for your upcoming government jobs. SN Academy will provide you the best material for national and international news. So keep watching and study hard. 19 November 2020. The first news is Japan and Australia have signed a landmark defense pact in a bid to counter China's growing influence in the South China Sea and over the Pacific Island nations. The deal, called Reciprocal Access Agreement (RAA), was signed between Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison. RAA will allow Japanese and Australian troops to visit each other's countries and conduct training and joint operations. The treaty will strengthen its security ties and facilitate the cooperation between defense forces. Important keys: Japan capital is Tokyo, Japan currency is Japanese yen, Japan Prime Minister is Yoshihide Suga, Prime Minister of Australia is Scott Morrison, the currency of Australia is Australian dollar, and the capital is Canberra. Next. Maia Sandu has won Moldova's presidential election after a run of vote against the incumbent Igor Dodon. MS Sandu has won 57.7% of the vote compared to Mr. Dodon's 42.2%. Sandu is a former World Bank economist who favors closer ties with the European Union. Mr. Dodon, meanwhile, is openly backed by Russia. Important keys: Moldova capital is Chisinau and Moldova currency is Moldovan leu. Next. The Madhya Pradesh government, led by Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, has decided to set up a Gau cabinet for the protection, conservation and promotion of cows in the state. The cabinet will comprise of the departments of animal husbandry, forests, panchayat and rural development, revenue, home and farmers' welfare. The first meeting of the cabinet will be held at 12 p.m. on Gopashtami on November 22 at the cow sanctuary in Agra Malwa district named Kamdhenu Gau Abhyaranya. It is India's first cow sanctuary, which was set up by the Bharatiya Janata Party led Madhya Pradesh government in September 2017. Important keys: Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh is Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Governor is Anandiben Patel. Next. Karnataka Bank launched CASA, that is Current Account and Savings Account Mobilization campaign, which will run from November 17 to March 4, 2021. The bank stated that it intends to mobilize over 4.10 lakh current and saving accounts with an assuration of 650 crores of business. With this campaign, the bank intends to introduce its attractive and superior line of digitally powered savings and current account products to its customers. To enable the basic banking services to the unbanked sections of the society. To popularize banks' digitally powered CASA products to the next level of customers on the basis of their requirements. Important keys: Karnataka Bank Limited headquarters, it is in Mangalore, Karnataka. MD and CEO is Mahabaleshwara MS. It is situated on February 18th, 1924, and tagline is "Your family bank across India." Next. Department of Investment and Public Asset Management (DIPAM) has signed an agreement with the World Bank to provide advisory services to DIPAM for asset monetization. DIPAM is mandated with facilitating monetization of non-core assets of government CPSEs under strategic disinvestment of or closure and enemy property of the value of 100 crore and above. DIPAM has a framework for monetizing non-core assets. Important keys: headquarters of World Bank, it is in Washington DC, United States, and the president of World Bank is David Malpass. Next. According to the Department of Science and Technology, Indian supercomputer Param Siddhi has achieved 63rd rank in the list of 500 most powerful supercomputers in the world. Param Siddhi is the high-performance computing artificial intelligence supercomputer established under National Supercomputing Mission at CDEC. The top 500 project, which ranks the top 500 non-distributed computer system in the world, is published twice a year. The first of these updates always coincides with the International Supercomputing Conference in June, and the second is presented at the ACM IEEE Supercomputing Conference in November. The supercomputer with repack of 5.267 petaflops and 4.6 petaflops Rmax sustained was conceived by CDAC and developed jointly with the support of the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology under NSM. Next, Indian cricketer Sudeep Tyagi has announced his retirement from all forms of the cricket. The 33-year-old had played for the Indian national cricket team in 4 ODIs and a lone T20 international as a fast bowler. Apart from this, the right-arm medium-fast bowler had also featured in 14 games in the Indian Premier League for Chennai Super Kings and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Next, the 2021 Under-17 Women's World Cup, which was scheduled to be held in India, has been cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. It has also been decided that India will host the 2022 edition for the World Cup. The tournament was supposed to be held in November 2020 initially, only for the pandemic to force a postponement. FIFA then revised the schedule and the tournament was to be held in February and March in 2021 in India. The 2020 Under-20 Women's World Cup has also been cancelled along with the Under-17 edition, while Costa Rica will get the chance to host the 2022 Under-20 Women's World Cup. Next, the Board of Control for Cricket in India (BCCI) has announced its partnership with Mobile Premier League (MPL) Sports, the athleisure wear and sports mechanics brand from Mobile Premier League, India's largest sports platform, as the new kit sponsor and official merchandise partner for the Indian cricket team. MPL Sports has entered into a 3-year agreement from November 2020 to December 2023. Important keys: President of BCCI is Sourav Ganguly. Headquarters of BCCI is Mumbai, Maharashtra, and it is founded on December 1928. MPL founded on September 2018. Headquarters of MPL it is in Bangalore, Karnataka, and the co-founder and CEO of MPL is Sai Srinivas Kiran G. Next, World Philosophy Day is observed on the third Thursday of November every year. This year, World Philosophy Day falls on 19th November 2020. The day encourages academic exchange and highlights the contribution of philosophical knowledge in addressing global issues. In 2005, the UNESCO General Conference proclaimed that World Philosophy Day would be celebrated every third Thursday of November. In establishing World Philosophy Day, UNESCO strives to promote an international culture of philosophical debate that respects human dignity and diversity. Next, World Toilet Day (WTD) is observed globally on 19th November to inspire action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. World Toilet Day celebrates toilets and raises awareness of the 4.2 billion people living without access to safety-managed sanitation. It is about taking action to tackle the global sanitation crisis and achieve sustainable development goal, that is, water and sanitation for all by 2030. The day was established by the World Toilet Organization in 2001 and officially declared by the United Nations General Assembly in 2013. This year, the theme remarks of the importance of sustainable sanitation and climate change. Important keys: World Toilet Organization headquarters, it is in Singapore. The founder and director is Jack Singh and it is founded on 19th November 2001. Next, World COPD Day is observed on the third Wednesday of November every year to raise awareness about chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, that is COPD, and improve COPD care throughout the world. World COPD Day 2020 falls on 18 November 2020. The day is organized by the Global Initiative for Chronic Obstructing lung disease, that is GOLD, in collaboration with the healthcare professionals and COPD patient groups throughout the world. The first World COPD Day was held in 2002. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is a lung disease that blocks airflow and make it difficult to breathe. The 2020 theme is Living Well with COPD, Everybody, Everywhere. Next. Former Governor of Goa and veteran BJP leader Mridula Sinha passed away. She was the first woman governor of Goa. She was also a proficient writer, making extensive contribution to the world of literature as well as culture. She has served as the head of the BJP's Women's Wing and chairperson of Central Social Welfare Board in the Ministry of Human Resource Development. A native of Muzaffarpur, Sinha will be remembered for starting cultural events called Chand Ke Saath in the lawns of Governor House. She had also opened a cattle shed inside the Raj Bhavan. 20th November, first news is Union Minister for Food Processing Industries Narendra Singh Tomar has virtually inaugurated the capacity building component of the Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises scheme. PMFME scheme has been launched with an outlay of rupees 10,000 crore for a period of 5 years from 2020 to 21 to 2024 to 25. He also launched the GIS 1 District 1 Product Digital Map of India. It provides details of ODOP products of all the states and facilitates the stakeholders to make concerted efforts for its value chain development. The digital map has also indicators for tribal, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and Especials district. Next. Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs CBIC Chairman Mr. M. Ajit Kumar along with members of the board inaugurated the GST Bhavan, Panchkula, Haryana. The state-of-the-art building will house the offices of Central GST at Panchkula. It has been built at a cost of rupees 31 crores. This is the first major infrastructure project of CBIC completed in this time of COVID. The building is a fully air-conditioned 3-story building built on a plot of about 1.4 acres with 7,600 square meters covered area and seating capacity of about 200 persons. Important keys: CBIC founded on 1st January 1964. CBIC headquarters, it is in New Delhi. Next. The Government of India, the Government of Meghalaya and the World Bank has signed a rupees $120 million project to improve and modernize the transport sector of Meghalaya. This will help Meghalaya to harness its vast growth potential for high-value agriculture and tourism. The $120 million loans from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development has a maturity of 14 years including a grace period of 6 years. The International Bank of Reconstruction and Development is a development bank administered by the World Bank. Meghalaya Chief Minister name is Conrad Sangma, Meghalaya Governor is Satyapal Malik and capital is Shillong. Next. Union Minister of Communications, Electronics and Information Technology and Law and Justice Ravi Shankar Prasad has released a My Stamp on Chhath Puja. My Stamp is an innovative concept initiated by the Department of Posts. Any common person or corporate organization can now book, order and get a personalized photograph or an image of a postage stamp. My Stamp is one of the unique products being offered by Indian Post, which has gained the popularity in the customized gifting category. My Stamp on Chhath Puja is available on all philatelic bureaus and major post offices across the country. A special cover on the theme is Chhath, a symbol of simplicity and cleanliness, was also released. Next. The Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has addressed the 33rd Stop TB Partnership Board meeting in New Delhi through video conference. During the meet, the minister has stressed on the need to create a mass movement for the elimination of TB with strategist advocacy through leadership, disruptive social entrepreneurship, powerful societal and political commitment. It must be noted that India is running the TB Harega Desh Jeetega campaign that targets to achieve the Sustainable Development Global Target related to TB by 2025, 5 years ahead of the global target of 2030. Next. The World Heritage Site of Hampi, the erstwhile capital of the Vijayanagar Empire, will soon be part of a new district. The Karnataka government has approved to carve out Vijayanagara as a new district of the state. Vijayanagara will be the 31st district of the state. The new district would be carved out of Bellary and named after the Vijayanagara Empire that ruled from the region. Important keys: Chief Minister of Karnataka is B.S. Yediyurappa. Governor is Vajubhai Vala. Next. Moody's Investor Services has revised India's GDP growth forecast to minus 10.6% for the current fiscal 2020 to 2021 in its November 2020 update from its earlier estimates of minus 11.5% in September 2020. For next fiscal 2021 to 22, Moody's projected India to grow at 10.8% as against the previous estimate of 10.6%. Next. Barclays has revised down its GDP forecast for India in the current fiscal year 2020 to 21 to minus 6.4% from its earlier estimated of minus 6%. However, Barclays has raised its financial year 2020 to 22 growth forecast to 8.5% from 7%. Next. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and the Prime Minister of Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, Xavier Bettel, held the first ever India-Luxembourg Virtual Summit on 19 November 2020. Both countries have friendly relations of over more than 7 decades since the establishment of diplomatic relation in 1948. During the summit, both parties agreed for enhanced cooperation in areas of trade, finance, steel, space, ICT, innovation, manufacturing, automotive, sustainable development, including through renewable energy, and the fight against climate change. India is placed at 77th position in the Trace Bribery Risk Matrix 2020. India has achieved a score of 45 in a global list that measures business bribery risk of 2020. India's rank stood 78th position in 2019. It was a better performance than neighboring nations such as Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal and China. But Bhutan scored better than India and got 48th place in the list. North Korea, Turkmenistan, South Sudan, Venezuela and Eritrea had the highest commercial bribery risk. Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden and New Zealand showed the lowest bribery risk. Next. Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank will be conferred with the Veteran Lifetime Achievement Award. This award will be conferred to the Minister of Writing, Poetry and other literary works. The minister has planned for more than 75 books on wide-ranging issues which have also been translated into many nation and foreign languages. Vatayan International Awards given by the Vatayan UK organization in London honors poets, writers and artists for their exemplary work in their respective fields. Next. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has unveiled 2 books, The Republican Ethic Volume 3 and Loktantra Ke Swar, which are a collection of selected speeches of President Ram Nath Kovind during the 3rd year of his presidency. Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar unveiled the e-book versions of the 2 books. Mr. Rajnath Singh stated that the President's speeches depict his concern towards issues such as girls' education, empowerment, women, and welfare of the weaker section. All the speeches in this book reflect on the self-confidence in this country. This book comprises speeches on the country's efforts to fight COVID-19, where India is faring much better than other countries, to bravely defending its borders. The compilation of speech of President Kovind presents a comprehensive picture of his work, personality and values. Next. World Children's Day is observed globally on 20th November every year. The day is celebrated to promote international togetherness, awareness among children worldwide, and improving children's welfare. November 20th is an important date as it is in the date of 1959 when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. World Children's Day was first established in 1954 as Universal Children's Day and is celebrated on 20th November every year. It is also the date in 1989 when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Convention of the Rights of the Child. Next. Africa Industrialization Day is celebrated on November 20th each year. It is a time when governments and other organizations in many African countries examine ways to stimulate Africa's industrialization process. It is also an occasion to draw worldwide media attention to the problems and challenges of industrialization in Africa. Within the framework of the second industrial development decade of Africa, that is in 1991 to 2000, the United Nations General Assembly in 1989 proclaimed 20th November Africa Industrialization Day. Since then, the United Nations system has held events on that day throughout the world to raise awareness about the importance of Africa's industrialization and the challenges faced by the continent. Thank you. Keep watching.